Hi there folks, I'm doing this quick video about Zoom and especially Zoom webinar. In this particular time of basically people not being able to go to their office um, and they're looking to be able to communicate with their audience in a more online way, webinars and being able to do live streaming is becoming quite attractive. Now, there's a host of different platforms available as I'm speaking in March 2020, at the end of March, and I have some experience of some of those platforms. I have a lot of experience with Zoom because I use it for my podcasting, and I do over 3 podcasts per week using the Zoom platform. Now, Zoom has got some considerable strengths, but it also has some weaknesses. And you've got to be aware, is this going to be a suitable platform for me? Now, these are my opinions based on my experience. Other people might have different opinions. But like I say, I've been using the Zoom platform for over 3 years. Now, let's start with some of its strengths. Basically, Zoom comes in 2 versions. You've got the normal Zoom, which you can get a free version and try it out, but you can't utilize the webinar add-on with the free Zoom product. But what the free Zoom product is good for is one-to-one meetings or one to a group meeting. For a coaching meeting, let's say you're offering as an upsell to some of your courses, one-to-one or one to small group coaching sessions, where Zoom is excellent for that. That's what it was originally designed for, designed for conference meetings and small group meetings, and it's broadened out now to very large groups as well. Then the other factor is to get onto the paid version is quite reasonably priced. You can start at around $14.99 a month. That's if you pay month to month. They do give a nice discount if you pay it yearly, which I actually take. So I pay my standard Zoom. I pay it yearly. That reduces it to around $12 per month. Now, with the Zoom add-on, unfortunately, you don't get a discount, a nice discount, if you pay yearly, so it's not worth doing. So you're best just paying that monthly, which is $40. But if you do pay your standard Zoom yearly, you can get the monthly cost down to about $52 a month. So what do you get for that $52 a month? Well, you get up to 100 people being able to participate in your webinar. And you do get the ability to ask, you do have the functionality of a chat room. Your people that are participating in the webinar can ask questions. There's a separate questions and answer section. There's a polling section, and you can actually charge people to be part of the webinar. You can charge a fee. So it's pretty flexible with the functionality it provides. It provides all the tools that you would probably really need for a professional webinar, and to offer a decent experience to your users, to the people that join in the webinar. The interface itself is you could say it's dated. I would say that is understandable, but it's not actually dated. The reason why it can seem that way is that you get all separate windows opening as you utilize the core application. And that is the result of it. The webinar elements were built onto the group meeting functionality, if I'm making sense. It wasn't like it was all built as one package. It was built on the meeting functionality, which is fundamentally what Zoom is about. And they added Zoom webinar on top of it. So that's why you can end up with a lot of different windows all over the place. Also, some of the settings required are kind of buried into like the fourth page that you have to scroll through. I wouldn't say to actually set up your first webinar is intuitive, but on the other hand, the videos and help sections of Zoom are well built out. This is a mature product with a lot of help and videos in their help section. And also if you need to contact directly support, normally it's very high quality support you'll get from Zoom. The people that Zoom employ and train, based on my experience, really know how to help you and have shown a persistence in if they don't have the ability to answer the question, they do come back with an answer and they have pursued your query. One of the faults of Zoom, well, it's not a fault, is that if you need more than 100 seats, let's say between 100 and 500 seats, there's a sizable jump in price between that 100 seat and 500. So if you get over 100 seat, boom, you're hit with a very high migration up. It's around about for $400 plus. Now, I think this is where the divergence comes from what I would say is one of its main competitors, and that's Webinar Jam. Now, what I think Zoom Webinar is really attractive to is if you're looking for a rock solid platform, and like I say, I've been using Zoom Webinar for over 3 years, and I've hardly ever known it to flake out on me. I've known a lot of browser-based webinar systems to flake out, and I've been part of them, or I've run one for myself or for a client. I've always found web-based, basically Chrome based webinars to be a bit flaky. But on the other hand, if you're using a browser-based webinar technology-based system, you don't have to download an application, which is attractive to a lot of people. You can just say to people, use the Chrome browser, and almost everybody, Mac or PC or Android, they will have Chrome on their application. Like I say, in Zoom, you have to download actual application. The good news is their application for iPhone, tablet, MacBook, PC. Any kind of application I've tried the Zoom app on, it's been rock solid, and it's easy to install, easy to set up, and easy to use. But you still have to download the application. So that's one of its drawbacks. What I think it's really aimed at and ideal at is almost 70% of the market. And what I mean is, if you're trying to use webinars to actually build an audience, I think it's a great platform. Now, if you have a very medium to large audience already established on the internet, where you've got a substantial email list, you have a substantial audience for podcast, you have a website that gets substantial traffic every month, your established brand in your niche or in the area of your expertise, you probably, Zoom is not the product for you, because you're going to rapidly outgrow it. You're going to rapidly outgrow that 100 seats. And then, like I say, it becomes quite expensive compared to Webinar Jam. And there's a couple other webinar products that I tried out about over a year ago, which had some significant functionality problems. But I'm going to go back and test them and give you those results, because seemingly they have worked on those problems, and they could be a good overall competitor, not only to Zoom, but Webinar Jam. Where Webinar Jam, you have to pay yearly up front. It's not ridiculously expensive. And up to 500, I think you're going to pay about $500 for Webinar Jam. And it's very focused. Well, its only focus is selling memberships through webinars. And it has a lot of functionality which Zoom doesn't have for the process of selling memberships through webinars. That's its strength. But on the other hand, it has no functionality to run coaching meetings through it. So you could at some stage move to Webinar Jam and still keep your yearly Zoom going, because it is the ideal product for one-to-one or small group coaching. And then you would use Webinar Jam for your actual webinar for the marketing of your memberships, if that's understandable. So if you haven't got that great big audience, or if you do, you probably still would use Zoom as part of your training platform, of your course, and then you would use Webinar Jam for actually marketing your membership site. Get back to another weakness of Zoom is the actual registration page is slightly customizable, but it is pretty ugly. One of the ways of getting around that, because of our platform, our hosted WordPress, is that using Elementor and using the Zoom API system, we can offer to develop customizable, i.e. it totally fits into your website brand, landing pages where people can actually sign up for the webinar, and they're fully customizable in Elementor. That's one of the packages that we offer with our fully hosted solutions, or semi to full custom build outs using WordPress, either using Lifter LMS or LearnDash. So that overcomes one of the big restrictions. One of the nice things about Zoom is it has a pretty well built out API that's pretty solid. So with our developer team, there's a lot of things we can do with the Zoom API that you can't do with some of these fully SaaS platforms. Another thing is that there's a couple of plugins out there that integrate Zoom and Zoom webinars effectively. Also, so you can run the Zoom on inside your website. You don't actually have to go out. And like I say, we can set up really nice registration pages, and also we can build out funnels using Animator and another great product called Groundhog, which is a great CRMS. So you don't have to go outside and use something like Active Campaign or Drip. So I think overall, for value for money and being able to integrate it into WordPress and into the look and functionality of your actual membership website, Zoom offers a lot to the person trying to build an audience, trying to utilizing webinars to do that. Where it fails is if you already got that large audience and you're going to get well over 100 people every webinar joining you, well, then you can't really use it. It would be, there's much better value systems like Webinar Jam, and there's a couple of the other new ones out there that would offer a lot more value. If you've got any more further questions, you can just go to the WP-Tonic website. We've got a lot of blog content about this subject. Oh, I forgot one important other area is that using Zoom Webinar, you can push it to live broadcasting, either to Facebook or to YouTube. Unfortunately, you've got to choose which one you're going to push to. It will not, and I don't think they've got any plans of changing this, you can't push it to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. It won't let you do that. You've got to either choose Facebook or you've got to choose YouTube. Now, there are other platforms that will allow you to do both. In my experience, though, you really got to choose which platform you're going to push to and concentrate on that particular platform. Trying to manage a Facebook, because there's time delays, and to try and push at the same time and observe the YouTube stream, the questions that are being asked on YouTube at the same time you're pushing it to Facebook, unless you've got an assistant who one of their main responsibilities is the observation and the management and the integration of those platforms. If you're trying to manage an interview or a group conversation plus manage that, it soon becomes a total mess, in my experience, even how much experience you've got. So it seems a bit of a restriction, but in reality, it isn't really, because you should really choose, am I going to push this to YouTube and try and build up my YouTube channel, or am I going to push this to Facebook? And it just depends where your users are at. And that you really got to investigate and make a business decision on that. But Zoom has got that functionality. Like I say, if there's anything more you want to know about Zoom and some of these other platforms, go to the WP-Tonic website. You can either you can book a consultation with me for free. We can have a quick chat if you've got any more information you require, or you can join the WP-Tonic newsletter. We have a load of information about e-learning and around WordPress that goes out every month. That's totally free. You get that by signing up for the newsletter, and you get a fantastic downloadable, fully designed checklist for building out your first membership e-learning membership course. That's a great resource as well. So, and leave some comments on this YouTube. If you've got any more questions, I'm always keeping an eye to see if people got any more questions, and I answer straight away. See you soon, folks. Bye.